Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to do a second part to solving literal equations. I've already done one video on it, but I want to do just a follow-up video for solving literal equations. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at number one. Number one reads, solve y equals mx plus b for x. So x is the variable I'm solving for, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. So I want to highlight that. Make sure I remember. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. Y equals mx plus b. And now, when we're solving equations, the goal here is to isolate the variable that you're solving for. So for example, for us, we're solving for, not even that whole thing, just some of it. But we want to solve for the x. So I want to get this x term by myself. The x term is the entire mx term. So if I want to get that by itself, I have to first start off by subtracting b from both sides. And because the b is not a like term with the y, we have to put it off to the side. So I'm going to write y minus b equals m times x. And mx means m times x. So now I know how to undo the multiplication. I simply want to divide everything by m. Okay. And what happens? The m's cancel out. Okay. And let me go back up here. These b's cancel out just like these m's are going to cancel out. And on the right side, we have x. On the left side, if we could divide y by m or b by m, then we would, but since we can't, the common denominator is m, and we're just going to write y minus b. And now we've solved for x. That's it. Let's take a look at this second equation down here. It says solve p equals 2a plus 2b plus 2c for b. So once again, we're solving for b, right? So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my equation. We have p equals 2a plus 2b plus 2c. Okay, we're going to draw a line down the middle of the equal sign. And now the variable that I'm solving for is b, but the term that I want to isolate to get it by itself is the positive 2b. So I want to move everything else away from the positive 2b. First thing we want to do, we can subtract 2c from both sides. And since the 2c is not a like term with the p, we would rewrite it as p minus 2c equals 2a plus 2b. Now once again, I still want to solve for the b, and I want to isolate the 2b. So I need to now get rid of the 2a. The 2a is positive, so we're going to subtract. And since it is not a like term with anything on the left side, we write it off to the side. Now I bring down everything else. And let me go back here and get these canceled out. Now the 2a is canceled out. And so on the right side, we're left with 2b. On the left side, we're going to write p minus 2a minus 2c. And now the last step, and if you don't remember that this is really 2 times b, so now I just want to divide everything by 2. And let's take a look at what's going to happen here. The 2's cancel out here, 2's cancel out right there, and the 2's cancel out right there. So we have different ways we could actually write this answer here. We're going to say b equals p divided by 2 minus a minus c, okay? And that would be our final answer, all right? Let's see here. So now the main thing, every time you're solving literal equations, you just want to isolate the variable that you're solving for and then move everything else away. So for number 3, it says y equals mx plus b, and they want us to solve for b. Okay, so now we're solving for b. want to rewrite my equation. Y equals mx plus b. I'm going to highlight the b because that's what I'm solving for. Oops. And now I want to move everybody else away to the other side. So I have to move that mx. Mx is a group, and since it's positive, we want to subtract mx. And mx doesn't have a like term on this side, so we're going to write it off to the side. The mx's cancel out. And now we're left with b equals, we're going to put the y first, minus mx. So that's one way we could write the final answer. You may see the final answer written as b equals negative mx plus y. We could also write it that way. Okay? Alright. So let's take a look at number 4, and then we'll be done with solving literal equations part 2. Alright. So now they want us to solve for r, and what they wanted the equation is c equals 2 pi r. So c equals 2 pi r really means c equals 2 times pi times r. Now r is what we want to solve for, and we want to get everything else by itself. We want to move everybody else. Technically speaking, we are allowed to, this 2 pi, we can treat that as one group. So if I want to undo what's happening to r right now, r is being multiplied by 2 pi. Then to undo that, I would simply just want to divide both sides by 2 pi. The 2 and the pi cancel out. And now we're left with r equals c divided by 2 pi. And that would be it. Final answer. So another brief video on solving literal equations. All right.